many kings shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show.
Not such a great army after all, my Lord Bishop. What do you think, Your Grace? Can we not expect to dispose of these heathens quite easily? I don't think he can.
What movie is this? Is this Vikings on Showtime?
I mean, Menors is supposed to be the host of this.
Menors,
correct?
get in the fucking show.
He is being such a fucking baby.
Tim,
right
you're
now.
muted, you fucking boomer piece of shit. Nobody can hear you. Good God.
I should have punched you when I was standing next to you all last live show.
So
Menors.
first and foremost,
Yeah,
thanks,
Menors,
Jonathan,
Menors,
for-
I swear, I'm not even fucking joking. Menors, get in here.
This is such a sourpuss move. But first,
Unbelievable.
All right, so you want to let Mayo
Unbelievable.
you want to let Mayo know, have Mayo describe to everybody what is going on right now, and I'm so happy. So
Okay.
happy.
Okay.
So-
I'll here. Okay. Last time we met, we finalized the 50. We had a final list, right? And
Pretty much. Yeah.
So
Tweaks
I'm
to
not
be
even
done.
I'm not even saying Menors is totally wrong here, but here's the situation objectively. We had the list somewhat finalized. We said maybe we'll tweak it a little bit, but it was pretty much set, you know. And throughout the week, things would go back and forth in the chat. Oh, should so and so be higher? Should so and so be lower? And some of us would say, yeah, I'd be okay with that. I never knew whether those changes were being made necessarily. I didn't really give a shit either way. I guess I would have been fine with them if they were, and fine with them if they weren't. So then we get into the show. We get into the fucking pre-show at 7:52. At 7:52, Menors has jumped 20 spots on the list. He's at number 15. He was at like 36 before that. And he's saying, oh, we talked about it. I can't do it, but we talked about it in the chat. He's saying we talked about it in the chat. Everyone consented, blah, blah, blah.
I never consented to him going higher. If anything,
he doesn't have the authority to touch the fucking list.
He's off the list.
He is an advisory role. He is in an advisory capacity. He should not be tweaking the list. That was not his role. That being
Mayo,
said,
what was his other role?
Commissioner?
But what's he supposed to be doing right now?
He's supposed to be hosting the show,
and
he got mad at us for questioning this process, and now he's being a baby. He's got graphics that correspond with, I think, his list that he tweaked.
Yeah.
So I'm saying just roll the list out as Menors tweaked it. We'll put a big old asterisk next to all of it, but at least we'd have graphics and a well-produced show.
You know what? It's fun.
Menors, just get in here. Don't communicate through the chat.
No,
Menors,
no.
Come on.
I think either he's in or he's out. If he didn't have the StreamYard, either kick him the fuck out or get in here. One of the two.
Menors, you're going to get fired for this. And I'm just saying.
Well, Andrew's his boss.
That's true.
I mean,
he doesn't even call him sir.
Oh, here
we go.
I just don't want to be a part of this shit show. No, you fucking idiot. It was a Google Doc.
How do you say boo-hoo in
It was a Google Doc, which we all had access to. Of course, I moved myself up as a joke. The same way, Tim, you moved me down as a joke during the meeting because I tweeted something out.
I'm going to put the number 15. You guys had me at...
See,
it was the same reason. I was just you were all fucking lazy. That's why I'm not here. Because 5 minutes before the show, you checked the Google Doc, which we talked about for 3 weeks
without you for the actual committee. Man.
Okay, bad luck.
There's a reason
why did we have a Google Doc with the list in it? Which I was, as Mayo said, I was putting stuff in the group chat. If none of you checked it, that's not my fault. We get to 5 minutes before the show, and you haven't even confirmed the list. So as I said, Augustus, you host tonight. Go through the countdown. That's what people are here for. They're not here for this shit. I'll produce from the back. I don't want to be a part of this committee. That is so disorganized. You can't even use a Google Doc. That's the only problem. All right.
We know how to use a Google Doc, Menors. I didn't look at it this week. I never assumed
you just admitted
that you were changing it.
But
why would I
in the
assume
chat
the guy who's the commissioner
is
changing the list?
You didn't check it at all. You just said none of you checked it. You're all lazy. You're the committee. You do the countdown, Augustus. You host. Have a great show. No one wants to hear this bullshit.
I love that.
Can we at least get some graphics?
I love it.
What graphics? What graphics? Because you
just
guys
go away. Just go away.
You had graphics so that when we say MHB, a picture of MHB comes up, and then there's a star swipe.
You said you had the graphics all set. It's fine.
Do we have a comment guy?
It's fine. We're gonna keep.
I believe
we have
BA
a comment
guy.
Excellent. So can BA just mute Mena's comments as he posts them? Like just do the fucking countdown as he'd said?
Yeah. So it's chaos aside. This is worse. I honestly think that this is worse than what Kevin from Bristol did with the long DM to Kirk. This is by far worse. Moving yourself up 20 fucking slots.
Well,
it was a joke.
Mute him. Someone mute him.
No.
Mute him, please.
No, he says he's out. He's out. Get him out.
They put me at 25, and then I put it during our meeting. And Tim, as a joke, says, "I'll put him at 35 now for that."
Someone mute him.
So I, as a joke, put myself.
Anybody
to
listening
15.
to him? Is this the Menace show, or is this going to be the
blaming me? You're fucking
Double A. You're the
retards,
boss there. You're the boss.
You're three fucking retards.
Double A.
Have a good.
Yeah,
Thank you. Not even.
Andy, unmute yourself, buddy.
No, we're not muting ourselves. Someone keeps muting us, which
Big Brother
assume is fucking Menace.
Yeah. So once I get my Barstool email, my email will be open for submissions for potential new run of this, because this is just
Double A. You got to take charge here. You're the boss.
Oh, I'm doing it now, and that's why three of us
mute him or kick him out.
I can't. I don't have that power.
Well, tell him to give you the power. You're the boss.
Yeah, pass the power over, Menors, please. But let's just get to the list. There's a lot of people here looking for the list. I think I mentioned it on the show that the best way to start it is everyone knows who number one is. Clear cut. All three of our lists had him. Podcast Jesus himself, Kirk Seamus Minahan, is the most important figure in this world, because without him, none of this is possible.
All right. So can we clarify a couple of things?
Of course. I just wanted to give a shout out. I'm going to say it over and over again.
Yeah. This is not the top 50 Minifans.
Nope.
It's the top 50 personalities that impacted the show, as Kirk had said on, I forget the date. We said it last show, the date, the timestamp, is how they impacted the show. So it's not top 50 Minifans, not top 50 callers. It's not the top 50 Barstool employees. It's who we think has impacted the show. Do we agree with that? Who has made an impact on the show in some way, shape, or form?
Yes,
Correct.
we went. Yeah, our criteria was basically their general importance to KMS, their impact on the show, how much they've affected the show itself, the length of that impact. So some people can come in and burn bright and burn fast, but 3 months later, 3 years later, they're gone. So we have to take that into consideration. You get more points for longevity. And then importance to KMS importance of knowing about them. Meaning, if you don't know who they are, say you jump into KMS, like you're Coleman right now. Who are the people that somebody like Coleman, you really need to know to get the heart of the show? So those are the 4 criteria that we tried to weigh everybody by. I can't fucking believe Menor sandbagged us like this.
What are you shocked? You can't be surprised.
I mean,
I actually am surprised.
It's a bad Saturday morning for him, and we're just enjoying it a Friday night. So with that in mind, Mayo, and I think people will be surprised. We've said it before. You and I actually agree on a lot of things, and a lot of rankings, and we are definitely going to discuss a few tonight. But I, like Mike, am working off a subset of the criteria, which I call the Kirk quotient. And that's with a K, obviously. So the Kirk quotient is K for Kirk. I couldn't really come up with something for K. I for impact, like you said, impact to the show. R for longevity. Yes, that's all racist, as well as it stands for right or longevity.
Stupid.
Yep. And K for kill. And for me, this is what Menor said was dumb. But I feel there is a factor of, if this person was killed or died off, would Kirk either mention them, devote a segment to them, devote a show to them, or do the Jon Stewart memorial? So that, for me, is a factor in how does this person fit into the top 50? And let's be honest, I think, Double A, you mentioned this, like the first 20, 25, after that, it's a matter of, are you on the list or not? It's not really where you fall, but whether or not, although number 50 is a big deal. We did all agree on that.
Yeah,
number 50.
Yeah, so 50s. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
So
50's up
we
in the
going
air
50
right
to
now.
1?
We'll go 50 to 2 technically, because everyone knows number 1. And let's like if we want to talk about it with Kirk, especially in kind of this now third set of producers coming in, kind of like you had Steve, Dave, now you have myself and Coleman. For me to see the show as a fan first, and where it was like kind of the more serious sides when you go on the listen backs, to where it sounds like there's more fun being had. I think overall you can see the true dynamic of how Kirk is as a broadcaster. And that's why, even all kidding aside, like there's a reason why everyone calls him a top podcaster in the world. Because
Can we get to the 50?
Really
what
good.
the
I
fuck
don't know
are
what
you
the
doing
fuck
right now?
you're talking about.
What the fuck are you doing?
You're
I'm
so
giving the
blown
number
out
one.
with your
Can we get
lighting
to
too. You look like
What?
Voldemort.
I don't even know
you
if
look
we're
like you
going
have
number
no
one first
nose.
or
It's
number
just
50.
holes in the middle of your face. There's no shape to your nose, Gus.
And you're sitting in that fucking gay Star Wars chair. Can we just get to the 50?
Okay, let's get to the 50.
What the fuck was that?
Because I said we do number 1 first, and then we jump into the
So 50. 50,
Bill.
the committee was unsure. One choice is Peltier. The other is BA. And earlier today, we still didn't have it settled. So we decided we'll figure it out right now.
Yeah.
I am in favor of putting BA in that spot over Peltier because of the longevity factor. BA's been around longer. He's a Mincel turned Minifan, turned enemy, now turned friend, now turned host of the Mike and the Minifan, the flagship fan show in the KMS world. Whereas Peltier is great, but he has not had the impact or the longevity of BA. So I think BA should be 50.
At first, I was leaning towards Peltier, especially with the wedding. It would have been a perfect wedding gift. However, with that being called off, and then it makes sense for BA, kind of carrying, like you said, the Mike. I think him being such an effective and good host on Mike and the Minifans, I think shows there's a lot of potential for the network to kind of keep boosting up. So I think BA would be the perfect 50 slot here.
So
you're outvoted, Tim, but let's hear the dissenting opinion.
Does that mean that John's? I don't like Andrew's. I love Andrew, and I don't like his explanation.
I don't think we're going to get many good explanations from.
I agree.
You might want to. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You might want to.
Does that mean John's not on the list?
Yes.
I
disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. Because
after tonight's events, I really disagree.
So I disagree that John is not on the list because as far as impact is concerned, having the wedding, not having the wedding, in the world, out of the world, to me is somebody that people are going to remember. Well, in BA, I agree, but I just don't think that John should not be on the list. I was putting him on as a gift for his wedding because I think up until then, it really wasn't a huge impact. But what transpired that whole week, I think gets him on the list. That's my only contention. So it would be, I think we should have him on the list and figure out who comes off the list for John.
All right. If we put Peltz
and I agree with
50,
everything you said about BA, except that he's Canadian. And I don't want foreigners on this fucking list. I don't want Menez. I don't want BA. I'm going to be completely transparent. America first, baby. These are Min-Americans, okay? I'm willing to make concessions, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys are a fucking
go
joke.
away.
This is
Go
a
away.
fucking joke.
Menor,
I put this in the chat hours ago. This committee is a joke. Look, you three retards can't even agree. I tried to do a good show.
You don't have to use that type of language.
Just do the fucking countdown.
I have graphics. You said you have graphics. Why? That to me means you're going to run the graphics tonight.
Yeah, look, and just prove
you're holding up the rundown.
You tried to sandbag me, saying I fucking did something wrong. I put in the doc.
You're holding up
the
show, Menez. Can we move on? Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So I'm okay with BA at number 50, but I just think that John should be in the mix now.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And this is just every time he just comes in. What I just did is I kicked him off, moved everyone else up one, and put John at 49.
I'm sorry.
That's where I'm at. Menors.
No, you can't kick Menors off.
Yeah, he's still on.
I mean, I can,
but I think someone else has to come off. That's my
Gus, do not shift the entire list, or you're fucking this. Like we need to proceed without trying to figure out every step of the way. Oh wait, are they 17 or 18 now? Because we added
no. Because with the numbers that are on it, you would see it updated completely simply. It was an easy fix. Trust me.
Okay, we're going to trust you. So we got to move on. So I think we agree BA number 50. That's quite a crown
congratulations.
to be wearing.
So who just got bumped?
We're going to have to see.
Bumped yet. If you don't want me to bump Menors, I won't bump Menors, but that's where I'm at this point, because again, if he's going to make you're going to put yourself up 20 points, 20 shots. Like, come on.
Now this is getting very funny. The comments.
I'm ready to make a motion to table the whole thing tonight.
All right, can we start working down the list?
Put it out on Twitter.
Can we start working down the list? Double A, come on, you gotta
roll back on. So I guess here, my question right here is,
we can't even get to 49. Now I'm getting with minutes.
Who are we taking off? Who are we going to?
Well, we're going to have to figure that out.
Madawaska Rob. I say take off Madawaska Rob. Put Peltz at 50. Put BA at 49.
Can we go to number 49 and see
49? 49 right now. MHB. He has.
Okay, we know who MHB is. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to give a song and dance for everybody. The most important thing, begrudgingly, MHB's on there. The most important thing is DEC's way above him. Not the spoiler alert, everybody. DEC's way above MHB.
Okay, number 48.
Menors
he's just such a baby. He really is a baby.
Pathetic.
There's going to be a flood in Sydney today from all his tears. It's so ridiculous. 48.
48. We got Ziggy Robinson. Ziggy, very loyal listener. Ropes. What did he write? Steve's bio that never got published.
Yep.
He's a great investigator. Definitely on the list.
And unbeknownst to a lot of people, he has to be Kirk's number one rat. Ziggy is a rat. I think of people feeding Kirk information behind the scenes. Ziggy's number one. I remember in high school, I had a teacher when we were graduating. He said, "Hey, by the way, your buddy Adam, anytime I needed to know anything, I knew I could go to Adam. He ratted you guys out for 4 years. Ziggy is the Adam of the KMS world."
All right,
total rat. I love him to death. But that's why Ziggy gets there at number 48. 47, this could be the first major controversy. Fred Couples at number 47. Fred Couples, not a Minifan. Not a Minifan.
You don't have to be.
You
don't have to be a Minifan. Don't have to be a Minifan.
Not a Minifan.
But he was on the show. That's the thing. That's the
he was on the show.
Between him and Bruce and Larry Bird and Kirk's parents. He was on the show.
Comes up a lot. If you said to somebody, "Oh, you really like KMS? Who's Kirk's favorite golfer?" And if they didn't, if Will would not know Fred Couples.
All right, so he's on there, but I think that's an asterisk.
Why?
I
Well,
put
we
him just beyond Larry Bird and Bruce Springsteen. He's a hero of Kirk's. He loves them, but they did get him on the show. Impact. It's a tough one for me. Well, we can circle back.
I think it's him being on the show that's the difference maker.
I agree. What I'm doing right now is trying to figure out who's coming off to fill that.
Madawaska Rob.
Oh,
Disagree, but let's work down the list. Okay, go ahead. Double A.
Well, we have BA in here.
Let's just can we please?
Well, he's going to host it now. Oh, I guess he was supposed to host it.
He's the comment guy, so he's going to give us comments.
Put him in. We need someone who's not rattled. I'm rattled.
Are you?
thank you.
I didn't come in prepared to like host, and this is a credit to Menors. We were counting on Menors to host. He is good at that. He's going to say, you guys are jokes. You guys don't know what you're doing. It's like, of course, Menors, we were relying on you. We trusted that you'd do what you said you would do. And then he backed out. So, BA, you're the poor man's Menors. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. But the comments are going wild. People are saying you should have went from 2 to 50. You don't care?
Okay. Who cares? No.
2 to 50. Who's going to fucking stay tuned for that?
You should have went 2 to 50. That's what they're saying. They also said Mayo didn't understand the same assignment.
Okay.
Get Menors back in here.
Okay. We already went through that.
Joanne Snatch has provided more to the show than John Pelletier.
That was excellent. That's excellent comment, actually.
Average is 300 pounds so far, starting with BA. That's average stuff with you. But if you want me to say, I could say. I don't know, it's up to you guys.
Oh, you gotta stay. You gotta
stay now.
You're number 50. You have to stay. You just got furnished a great honor, my friend.
That was very nice. But yeah, I think you should keep it moving. You guys got to keep it
I
moving.
agree. But I just want to, again, personally, I'm against any foreigners being on this list, but I'm happy for you.
BA, what's your email? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Really appreciate
Double A, let's go. Come on.
Number 46, Madawaska Rob. I know this is the one you were thinking about for pelts.
Skip it. Keep going.
Completely okay. Yeah.
He made the intro, Mr. John from Scranton.
I think too high. I think high.
Too high.
Too high, meaning he should be.
I think he should be out of the 50.
All right.
Oh, not on the list at all.
Now we're gonna mute you.
Okay.
Now we're gonna have to.
Okay, sorry.
No, he's fine. Let him contribute. Let him contribute. All right.
Why wouldn't John be? I think he's way too low.
No, I said Rob. Rob's high. I think John's good.
Rob's too high. I agree. I would put Pelts in the Rob spot.
Again, for me, it doesn't matter really where you fall until the top 25. It's whether or not you're on the list.
But if you were looking for bodies to bump,
right?
If you were looking to bump someone for Pelts,
bump Featherston.
Rob,
bump Featherston for Peltier. At least Peltier is entertaining.
Right, so who's 44?
44 is our first enemy on the list, Shirley Leung. I mean, she's always you know the history with Shirley.
We all agreed. We already agreed on that.
Yep. Good enemy.
43, John Featherston. All Politics is Local, does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes.
Not anymore. I don't think anymore.
I just burped in my throat and it's acid.
Where else do you burp? Where else do you burp than in your throat?
That is true. That's excellent.
42?
42.
Wait, 45? Did you say 45? People are saying
it's John. John from Scranton.
John.
And don't worry, we will have the entire list printed out. Like
yeah. It'll be notarized. We'll get it notarized.
This is a shit show, though. I have to say.
Oh, it's an absolute shit show.
I wanted nothing less. I love it. I fucking love it.
Number 42, Rich Kelleher.
Absolutely on the list. Absolutely on the list.
He deserves it.
I thought Riggs was 42. Gus.
No. You see what you're looking at is Menor's list.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Okay. So it's going to be just Augustus reading the list. The show is going to be Augustus reading the list.
When you put yourself at 15, like how I'm not keeping him at 15 there. So how are we going to move all that shit around? I sent you guys all the updated old list. If you looked in your Gmails, like I said before.
Again, I don't work for you. I don't get paid. I'm busy at work, and I didn't get to the stupid Google Doc or the list.
Did you guys meet?
We did our list. We did our list. We gave you. Let's go.
So again, we met. So number 40, 42, Rich Kelleher. Number 41 is our first, I think, the first real prank phone caller in Blind Mike's daddy. Yes. Anyone?
Very nice. Very nice.
Hooray. Congratulations.
Just in front of
40,
him.
number 40.
Number 40, we got Kevin the Caller.
Kevin the Caller. Wow. Number 39.
39 is our friend. See, this is the old Menors list. It's so great.
Are you putting that up?
30. I'm not. Joe is.
Joe.
Who's Joe?
The Axe.
The Axe.
We had the Axe.
Oh, okay.
So
Mena's assistant.
Yeah. Number 39, Julie DeCaro. She has threatened a lawsuit and hasn't come yet, but good for Justin on
Also threatened to leave Twitter and has yet to leave.
I wouldn't know. I'm blocked on all my accounts prior. Number 38.
A Kirk enemy, but people like Coleman, an absolute enemy of Kirk's.
And I mean, I think Coleman would also know because Big Cat
I think a little
despises
low
her as well.
I think a little low. But
Number 38, DEC.
Well deserved to be so far above MHB because
Yeah,
DEC
definitely.
stuck around.
You have some serious hatred for MHB.
You know what? No, I like MHB, but I know this will bother him. But I do legitimately think DEC should be above him. DEC
For
should
sure.
definitely
Oh,
be
totally
above-
agree. Totally
because
agree.
again,
100%.
when
I
you
think even a little higher.
yeah, when you
could have
get
been
into these
higher.
neck and necks, where they're very comparable candidates, the longevity is what does it. And DEC stuck around longer than MHB.
he
Now,
could have been closer.
He was
to
terrible
25.
without MHB. The show became unlistenable. Minifan, whatever their show was called, without MHB, it was awful. But DEC stuck around. DEC has contributed to live shows in the very recent past. So yeah, DEC deserves to be above MHB.
No, we agree with that. I think it's where he falls. I think he should be a little bit higher, but let's work down.
Yeah,
the
but he
list.
see him
vanished.
closer to 25.
He took off
Yeah.
for too long.
Yeah, the
It's true.
disappearing counts against them. Where were we at, Gus?
We are at number 37. Our first
Oh.
musician on the list, Mr. Matt Carano.
Oh, okay.
Classic
Okay.
songs like Rape.
Yep.
I mean, and let's not forget Rome. I mean, he's provided a ton of content. But yeah, you know, this is such an opportunity for you to grab the reins and host this show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah,
What do you
it
want?
Really,
you want-
you've been
you want
doing
me to-
great with Mike and the Minifans. You want to run with hosting the show. The whole idea is just move us along, get
There
a
you go.
little feedback as we go. If we have
Thank you.
disagreements,
Toronto, great pick. Next. Is that
well,
what you want me to do?
not
No.
really. No. Get us moving along.
Okay, but I thought Toronto, good pick though, for real. What are we at now? 35.
We're at number
He doesn't
30.
even have the fucking list. How's he?
I don't have the
Yes, he
list.
does.
How's he gonna?
I just sent it to you right now. Check your DMs. It just doesn't have any numbers next to it, but we
Oh,
are
yeah.
at number 36, and
And
we're talking about blind.
It
Mike
doesn't have
Sneaks.
numbers next to it.
Well, his is going to be in the reverse bottom up, but it's easy to follow. We're on number 36, and it's Blind Mike Sneakers.
Oh, Blind Mike Sneakers, 36.
Blind Mike Sneakers.
I like that you put Sneakers and Toronto right beside each other. Was that
Oh, I think that's a happy accident.
was that an accident?
I think it's a happy.
Yeah.
accident.
Well, that's a great point.
Okay,
They kind of
valid.
they're
Valid.
like Neo and Agent Smith.
Yeah,
You know, they
Compliment
deserve
each other.
two sides
Mad
of the same
Magazine,
coin.
white villain, black villain. Yep. Okay.
And Sneakers to me, I think when we discussed this spot, Sneakers is one I think worthy of a little bit of discussion. When we discussed it, my take was he is the king of the trolls. He's the ultimate KMS troll. He's run the gamut. I think nobody has pulled a stunt that pissed Kirk off more than Sneakers and the everyone knows the incident I'm referring to. So the fact that now he's been in studio is remarkable. And he's been in studio, but he's still insane. Sneakers is one of those guys that every once in a while, I'll just go to his profile and I'll look at whatever war he's having that week with some random account. And they're talking about each other's divorces and kids and new wives. And it's just, I can't believe that person exists on Earth at the same time as me. And that sometimes we'll see each other at these shows. It's wild. He's the king of the trolls. He fucking definitely deserves to be on the list at whatever number it is that he ended up being at, somewhere in the 30s.
So we did agree there were certain people we were going to stop and have a little chat about. And my Kirk quotient for sneakers is similar. The impact is obvious. His longevity, he has been around from day one. He's a massive Minifan.
Massive.
Absolutely massive Minifan. Loves the show. And if he were to be killed off, I think it would be more than just a mention. I think he would get probably a segment of a discussion if he were to die.
Yes.
Or be killed off.
Yeah. Like 5-6 minutes, something like that. But yeah.
To me, that's a big impact. Okay. Double A, anything to add?
We're good with Gus.
Yeah,
Gus
I know. I don't know what's
Gus
going on.
is just the keeper of the list.
I like sneak. It's good. Now this is where the controversy comes up. Number 35. We talked about him. We can skip over it quick. It's Menors. Pain in the ass.
Oh, is that why you blacked it out on my list?
Well, I took him off, but if we're gonna keep him there, we can keep Menors at 35 and move on.
He should be on. I'd be okay with him being higher. I would.
Yeah,
I mean, even tonight, like this is Menors has been at, especially on the network. Menors has been at the heart of some very memorable moments. The main show when he was screaming at me. Menors probably
Not
should
about
be
you,
higher. He
Mayo.
definitely should
Not
be on
about
the
you.
list.
I have my top 3 Minifans would be Tim and Canton, Menors, and Sneakers. So those
That
would be
is-
my top 3 Minifans for like fans of the show that would be on the list. Those are my top 3.
I think that's very valid, BA. I think that's for 3 different reasons.
Not about you, Tim.
Yeah, excellent point, Mayo. So Menace tonight, we were fooling around last week and we fucked around and we kept dropping him every time he'd say something stupid, which he's want to do every other sentence. We dropped him down a few points and he kept buying into it and getting mad, and we dropped him a few more. That being said, I do think he should be way higher. His longevity is from day one. I don't like the idea that he's a foreigner, that he's on this list and he's cracking. I think he should crack 30. But tonight was a very piss poor showing. Very, very, very negative. All as Mike would say, the Steve units for Menas. I'm taking some away for tonight. That is poor form, as they say in Australia and England.
You know what though? It's 'cause he cares too much.
He cares a lot. He's a great boss.
He cares too much. Even with this, he's mad at us because I think something's going on with Menors because he's getting way too mad about this stuff. I'm stunned by how mad he's getting.
I'm open to moving him.
He cares. He gives a shit. He really, really, really gives a shit. He takes the network seriously. He puts a lot of time and effort into it, which I know people will poo-poo, but it takes time and effort, and he puts it in, and then all we do is give him shit.
Can we get any feedback from his boss?
Yeah, Gus. I mean,
I think after
Tim, why don't you give me the sob story about how you're so busy, and you can't check the Google Doc, and then you say, "Oh, I'm having a piss poor effort."
Can you go
You're
back
the one
with
who
your?
never took this seriously.
Can you do me a favor? Can you go visit your dead cat Charlie? Just do that for me.
Let's see the tattoo.
Fuck you.
Hey, Menors, Haley says hi.
People are saying Patricia Minahan has done more for the show than Menors.
No, that's
Well,
just.
I mean,
wow.
We wouldn't have the show without her.
Wow. So, Double A, do you have a comment about Menace?
35 is appropriate after all the bullshit and shit.
I think low.
I do think he should be in the top 30. I do.
I think low.
I can't give it.
Well,
to
it's too
him.
late now. It's too late now.
Right now.
But if the list is ever revisited, maybe Menors.
I'm going to go down as a firm disagreement. As much as he's a dink, and I hope I ruin his Saturday. I do give people credit where it's due, but he's also a pussy for just jumping in when he feels up to it, and he's had his tea and he gets his balls back. But whatever.
He's regretting it. He wants to.
I think we got to go next.
All right,
Go.
Go.
It's going to be very fitting for next because it feels very fitting because number 34 is Kevin from Bristol. Again,
Where's Rico?
Loyal Minifan.
I think he's higher up.
He is.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin from Bristol. Congratulations, Kevin. Okay.
100%. Are you kidding me?
You
got
a reason to keep going, buddy.
If this last weekend's live show was an evidence that he will not ever go away, the R for longevity for him is resilience, and God bless him.
Can I just say this?
And his calls are freaking awesome. So if anything, he should be higher up. But
Kevin's lucky that we compiled this list in September, which is Suicide Prevention Month, because I did not want to be responsible for keeping him off the list. Had we done it in August or October or any other month, I probably would have lobbied harder to keep him off here. But congratulations, Kevin.
Kevin's in my top 25. But say la vie.
All right, next, let's go.
Number 33, Dale Arnold. I mean, calls him out every live show. Good news is now he has 2 new numbers that Dale hasn't blocked yet. It's good to know. There's 2 new numbers now that Dale hasn't blocked.
Are you teasing us, Augustus?
I'm just saying, if we ever have to make the call, there's 2 new numbers we can call from.
I think Dale might still pick up. I think Dale's more in on the joke than we think.
All right. Next.
Number 32, Lauren Lynn.
I mean, come on. She's the Minna lady. She's the first lady of the Minifan. She had that phenomenal live stream with Dee Dee. Obviously, his wife, who was very, very into the Miniverse, and then just had a meltdown and left. And I mean, her Kirk quotient is very strong. She's made some prank calls.
She has made a few prank calls. That's true.
She has. Not many Minna ladies do that, so she's got impact. She's a great source. I mean, she was a source last week when we were wondering what happened on Friday night with Peltz. Lauren was able to shed some light on that with a very reasonable, reasoned, intelligent feedback about what went down. Her longevity is from freaking day one, back in the Enough About Me days. And
but before that, she used to call into KMS. She called into Kirk and Callahan to tell him that she named her dog after Kirk.
Yep.
I remember that.
I mean, drives down 3 hours to every show that she can get to.
But would you say she's hasn't really been too big on the show front as maybe like a Menors or some other people she's ahead of?
True, but I think she offsets that.
Right.
With everything else that we listed offsets that.
Like a Featherston, a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
And much
rallies the troops. Really is the I don't know what you call it. She really is the rallying point for female Minifans.
Gus, can you give me access to the list? When I click on it
says, I put it to you already.
I know, but it says you don't. It says I don't have access. It says I have to request access. Send it to my Gmail.
Is it the Word doc?
Yeah, I just sent it right now.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. I'm good.
Do you want to go next?
Next, number 31, Julie from New York.
Okay. Yep. She's
nice
on there.
Crossing T's, dotting I's. Great story about her dad.
Maybe a little high. But she's kind of newer. Yeah. She's kind of newer, you know.
It doesn't feel right now that we're here. That one feels fucked up.
I think a little high. I think it is what it is. So
there was no
I think
this is what happens when we don't spend 18 hours a day on the list. Menors is right. Menors is right.
So I think we take a minute here and adjust something. I agree. I think a little high. BA had a good point. Male, a little high.
I agree. I'm not high, but Julie is high.
Yeah, I could see it being a little high.
Julie over Menors, I like that's like
switch her and Menors. Switch her and Menors.
See, BA. Come on, BA. You got to do more hosting. That's a great point.
Menors.
Great advice.
They should be higher. Switch her with Menors.
Okay, so Menors is moving up.
Menors.
And it's big. Well, and there's some big impact recently. What's that called? Recency bias, which, by the way, I've never fucking heard of until this came up. But there is some recency bias there.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's a real thing.
No, I don't. I believe it, but I've
There's
never heard
scientists that figure this stuff out, Tim. It's not all.
He is. Oh, this guy's behind.
Okay, so we're putting Menors in the Julie spot, which is number on my list 30, then a line through it, and then I wrote 31.
Because
Julie's 31.
Julie refuses to go on Minifandom, so that's appropriate. That is so appropriate.
Do I hear Menors giggling? Is he like in the studio? Can we fucking hear him? Menors, if you're sitting back there giggling, just get.
All right, next. Double A.
I miss him. That's the problem.
I'm just making your
looking forward to spending time with him tonight.
This is
number 30, Jeff you up. Jeff
D-Lo, very
D-Lo.
nice.
Wait, I guess he feels too high to me, but I don't care for Jeff.
I don't think so now. It's
I think a little
hosting
high.
the trivia. He calls in regularly. You can tell he listens.
I don't like that Jeff gets I get to just call in and get put on air. I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think
love Double A. I love Double A protecting his position now that he's a company man. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right. I'm with you. I like Jeff Hanglow. I think he contributes to the show because it's something that Kirk really enjoys. He's really into. The Kirk quotient on him, I think, is a little bit high. He's got an impact, but I wouldn't say in the Miniverse it's a massive impact. It's a very, very specific impact. It has to do with trivia and what Kirk enjoys doing. But this last weekend, there's some people that switched around. He was a great contributor. He's going to have
he had a great video.
He had an awesome video. He's going to have the trivia with Justin, which I think is awesome. So I think he's really coming into the Miniverse as opposed to doing his thing that Kirk's involved in. It seems more like Jeff's getting more involved in the Miniverse, which
I could see him being a top 20. I could see him being like a top 20 guy in a year or two from now. Like after this 4 years is done, I could see Jeff trending higher. I think Jeff is on the trending up.
I think a year or two from now, Jeff D-Lo will be the Ringer Employee of the Month. That's my prediction.
You don't like Jeff?
He's got Ringer written all over him. And that's not even necessarily an insult. I think he'll end up at the Ringer.
My only question to you guys is if Kirk and Jeff were to go to Cambridge, who would stop traffic or get mobbed?
Oh, Jeff. Didn't that happen already
100%.
once?
Yeah, his sister went to Harvard.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, his girlfriend's sister.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, I think Jeff
Jeff's a fucking try hard. Nice background.
I think
look at this thing. It's always moving. It's always spinning, and there's an LED back there.
Roscoe does a good point.
I get my hair cut every 12 hours.
What's Jeff's best moment?
And I say that things slap, and that things hit different. Fucking.
Valid question from whoever that was, but I think his best moment is to come. I just see him trending more towards really embracing the Miniverse. And I think, is he there for Survivor?
Yes, he's hosting it.
All right. Yeah.
He's never been to a live show. If I was Kirk, I'd be like, dude, Kirk travels all over the place for the dozen. And Jeff can't come to a fucking KMS live show.
Did Riggs go to one?
No, but Riggs doesn't. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, let's move on from Jeff.
Yep. Let's go next.
Please, for the love of God.
We're in the top 30 now, right?
Top 30, everybody. This is where a graphic would come in. 30.
Yeah, come on. You're the host now. 30, you are the de facto host. Let's go.
Top 30. That's what I said. I said top 30. I don't have control of graphics, but I said we're in the top 30. Oh,
do it all the
Oh, wait a minute. Is this wait. When Menor says he had graphics ready for tonight, is he referring
these
to
are the
these?
graphics.
Is this what he's referring to? Just these? Just a screenshot of a Word document? That's what he meant by graphics?
I love him. I love him.
Menor's did it. Oh, look, Menor's is.
Oh, well, then I guess we don't. I really thought it was going to be like.
I love him.
Oh, no, in person and like maybe a clip of them on the show.
No,
or something.
it's a Google Doc. I want to adopt them so I can yell at them every day.
Docs the list. All right, let's
bust it.
Don't worry, that list is fucked up too. Number 29, Mike Montante. Been a great addition to
we didn't do 30.
You just did
30 was Jeff D-Lo.
My list is all fucked.
Yeah, because I thought Jeff was 31.
I have Harry Minahan at
no,
okay. All right. I'll just react.
This is a shit show. I love it.
Check the newest one. It's the old list before Menor's. I just sent it. I gave you permission for it. You should be able to pop in and see it. The axe is in here and she can see it.
Beanbag Ron. They're saying 29.
No, we're saying Mike Montante.
Mike Montante 29. Okay.
Yeah. 28.
Beautiful. 28. Who's 28?
Steve from Providence.
Steve from Providence, 28. So do you think he
was like your best? It was always Tim and Steve for a while. Don't move on.
Tim, where is Steve?
What?
Where is Steve?
Alive and well.
Well, why isn't he around? If Sneakers can be around, why isn't Steve?
Steve should be higher than 28. This is again, I'm going to lodge my protest. He's way too low. longevity, 100% biased. Fucking 100,000% biased. Him, Kevin. I am the old guard protector, and these are the guys that I am backing for higher in the pecking order. His impact early on is immeasurable. In fact, I think Rich Kelleher is getting short shrift. His impact early on was way more than number 40 something. Yes, absolutely.
But he has no impact today. He has no impact.
I get it. His longevity is not great.
But the impact itself needs to also have longevity. The Kelleher stone didn't land in the KMS pond and ripple out in such a way that we can still feel those ripples. It rippled out and they're gone. They're gone. Other people have had more of a lasting effect, even if they're not around. Like I would say Steve from Providence had more of an impact than Kelleher, even though he's been gone too.
Oh, I totally agree. Totally agree. But I think Steve should be higher up. If I'm not mistaken,
I could see him top 20.
March
top
17th, 2020. If I'm not mistaken, Steve from Providence was the very first caller to KMS, if not number 2.
Ooh. You know what, too? He did the walk.
The 88-mile walk. I can.
Did he cheat though? I thought he cheated.
No. I tried to get him to cheat. I tried. I offered him a ride and he wouldn't take it. And
yeah,
I think
I
he
know
knew
all
if he
about
got in
that.
my car, I'd rat him out.
You gave him oranges and said, "Do you want to ride? You piece of shit." I don't think I forgot about that.
I gave him rotten oranges.
You're a fucking ass.
I gave him rotten oranges, and my sweet little angel of a daughter who asked me to tell Menors hi tonight. Shared her Halloween candy with Steve from Providence.
I heard actually Steve from Providence banged more hookers on that walk than Terry Fox did on his walk. So
that's a long way to go for a stupid Canadian disabled piece of shit that ran across the country.
Yeah,
Joe.
You're probably making fun of someone who doesn't.
Is there any wonder why I don't want foreigners in here? The Terry Fox story, which by the way it's a great movie. now do the imitation. Steve from Providence, 88 miles. Literally bled. His balls bled out for the show. And then he did the show after he sat through the show and got ridiculed. He was, if not the first, maybe the second caller, but I believe the first in history. There is an event that only 5 or 6 people were at, and I was too big a pussy to go. That was right after Enough About Me and before KMS started. That Steve from Providence was. I think it was Steve, TJ, S.E. Robinson, Kirk, and what's his name from Buffalo Wild Wings. They went down to Mayo. It's down by you. What's the casino? Not Fox.
Mohegan? Fox.
Oh, yeah. I believe they were at Mohegan. There was only 5 to 7 people that were there that night.
Love Mohegan.
That's dedication. Anybody that bleeds for the show for me gets a higher pecking order. I'm launching my protest.
I would say
Tim,
low.
Can I actually add in favor of your argument?
Committee should be disbanded and you informed. That's what the vendors.
We need with a different commissioner. Sure. Steve from Providence also famously had a come to Jesus talk with Kirk, right? And said, "You're the best in the world, and Entercom has you working out of a closet. Why the fuck are you doing this?" Isn't that true? And didn't Kirk give him credit for saying that? Really,
some would contend, as I say with a smile, that he gave him the idea to go to Boston, even though Kirk was already in talks with Boston.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I can remember Kirk getting mad on EEI, and right before going to commercial break, he'd throw out a Viva.
Listen, so I have total.
He always danced with that.
For me, Steve from Providence, the name alone, Steve from Providence, is top 10 for me. I just disagree where he is now, but
I think a little low. I think I would put him in the 20s.
He's too low. He's too low. I'm looking at some of these people that are above him, and now I'm feeling.
We're gonna make an asterisk.
My heart feels heavy because we fucked up.
Okay,
we may need, but it's okay. We'll go next, especially the next guy.
Yeah, number 27, Andy Mayo.
Mayo.
I actually think ahead of me,
but I actually think Mayo's. That's a. You know what?
You're not
Mayo,
supposed to comment,
you've been in studio. You've been in studio a bunch. You kind of have a good arc. Like you were a big fan, then hated by the show a little bit, and then now in studio, how many times? 3-4 times?
I did run and hide though.
Ran and hide.
I think 6 or 7 months. I didn't
Mayo, you're not
listen to
supposed
the
to
show.
say anything. Mayo, Mayo.
Okay. All right. I'm
You're not
talking.
I actually
say
think
anything.
Mayo's fairly ranked where I would have had him, like top right around 25.
I think he's a little bit. I think he's a little bit low. I think Mayo's a top 25 guy because of what you just said, BA. His longevity is obvious. He's a wrestling character. He's gone from a heel to a hero. He literally tried to fuck people over, and then he almost got fucked over, and then he saw the light. So he's come full circle. And then
His calls about the what was that running app charge or something?
he can't answer. He tried to say that the show is doing something dubious, but in the end, he does love the show. He makes fun of himself. He is not the Trump caller. I can verify that for a fact.
Definitely
although he
not.
does a good
If
job.
he was a Trump caller, that could bring him up. He would be top.
I agree.
top,
I agree.
10.
But I think
Top
he should
10,
be
I would
top
say.
25 if you want to asterisk that double A, because it's really up to me and you. But good input from BA.
Yeah.
And his show suggestions in the end, they're fucking terrible. They're the worst thing about him. But I said what I said.
All
Moving
right.
on to number 26 now. Harry Minahan.
How do we have Harry so high?
Come on. I mean,
Harry's
you
been on
don't-
the show as the wrestling promos or whatever. He was on the show doing that stuff.
He's
Going over WrestleManias always make me laugh.
always
I love him.
entertaining.
I think
The fact
I
he
think he's
hates
great.
women wrestlers, he's got his dad's timing, his wit. For a protege,
B minus.
the kid's got
boring
it.
minus.
Bill boring minus sus.
I'm just talking
The fact that
Impact.
he hates certain callers. Impact. Oh, come on. He has a song written about him.
Yeah,
A very
yeah.
good song by Gig.
Also, I'm not
Very,
trying to
very good song.
disparage him, and I'm not saying I don't enjoy it when he's on. He just seems high. It seems too high.
I think around the 30 mark is which he's kind of around. I think he's at fairly positioned.
Okay.
In the end, I think we all agreed on the last show. He's got to be an even number no matter what.
Yeah.
Never an odd number for Harry. It's got to be even. That's why Dale's 33, even though it's Larry Bird. Still two odd numbers. Fuck Dale.
Alrighty. Gus?
Number 25, Riggs. His the self-proclaimed best friend at Barstool right now.
Tim, I think this is high. This
I
Riggs
think Mail's got a lot to say here.
Okay, Mail, go ahead.
It's just way too high. It is
I agree.
way too high.
Agreed.
Way too high.
Agreed.
Not much impact on the show. Terrible on the show.
I guess Riggs' what drop is his best thing.
Yes.
Best impact of the show.
It's too high. It's too
I
high.
think other than being Kirk's best Barstool friend, other than that, I think he's way too high as well.
How the fuck did he get there? I thought he was at
I don't know. Menace.
Menors. Did you Menors?
No. Matters. This was what we left with that night.
Way too high. I think we need to swap him out.
Who?
Riggs.
Okay. To where?
Like, I think Menors is higher than Riggs. I even think Steve from
No,
Providence.
No.
I had Riggs at 42 on my list, but you guys can't check a Google Doc because you fucking morons.
Fuck out of here.
42 on my list.
So what?
Fucking
42 as
losers.
well.
So
A
what?
disgrace. You've let
So
the
what?
Minifans down.
Oh
So-
no.
Hold on.
Oh.
So hold on. So some loser in Australia made his own list when he's not even part of the committee. Okay, just want to make sure.
Jesus
Got
fucking
it.
Christ. All right. 24. Warden of the North.
Good. I think solid position for Warden.
Very talented with songs, the GIFs he comes out with, clips, GIFs, whatever the fuck they want to be called. I don't know. Overall, I love watching Warden stuff. Always makes me laugh.
Top 30 guy for sure. What do you think?
I think Steve from Providence is ahead of Warden of the North.
Really?
Yeah, from an impact perspective, yes. If
I could
Warden-
see them close. They would be
Mike-
close in my mind.
this is my K factor. If Steve from Providence died tomorrow, got his syphilis finally came to fruition and he died, and Warden died, how much time is devoted to either of them? And for me, Steve gets way more time than Warden.
If you're going by that,
Doesn't mean I don't
criteria,
like Warden.
then
That's
yeah.
me. That's the K factor.
But is that more of a fact that Steve's more of a visible, like, has his social media, but has also been like an in-person presence, whereas Warden is just strictly online?
That's some of it. I mean, his contributions are fantastic, but his impact, I don't think, is nearly as close to Stephen Providence.
Warden doesn't eat clout, is why.
That's
what
true. He's
Marlon
not.
said.
Yeah, he's not clout hungry.
No, that has nothing to do with it. Is Steve from Providence clout hungry?
Back in the day, probably.
I don't want to.
I was gonna say, could you say back in the day?
I know I'm dragging it down, but I don't care at this point. How did Riggs go when I opened the Google Doc before we started tonight? I printed off the final list. Riggs is at
way too
42. How did Riggs get to 26 when we went live? Because Menors didn't put him at 26. How did he get to 26?
I don't know. Because I didn't have him that high either.
Something.
Who's the producer?
This is the list I pulled.
I appreciate the committee's work. This is flawed. It is flawed. I think Kirk should consider this. I don't know. I'll leave it up to Kirk. It's in Kirk's hands. I mean, it's a good list, but there's just something, and that's the thing with Menors. Like he should have told us that he was tweaking the list because we didn't have time to determine the discrepancies between what we thought was the final list and the changes.
Menors is saying Gus started a second
changes, but we didn't have time to verify it.
No,
did Gus start a second list?
I did not start a second list. I took the last saved list before Menors fucked with it and moved it over here. So this was the list that the committee had originally come up with that we were going to sleep on before Menors started fucking around with it.
I think this is Euro dark web shit happened.
But me and Tim both object to Riggs being at 26. So if that was the list before Menors tweaked it, how would he have ever ended up at 26 when 2 out of the 3 voting committee members would have been opposed to him being that high?
That I don't know. This was just the list I pulled from our last thing.
Imagine this list was dropped at Sacco. It'd be so fucked.
Oh yeah. All right.
Next.
Rico. I know Tim might not be the biggest fan of his calls. I love Rico's calls. The one time he called in this week, only called in once this week, but
what are you talking about?
Yeah, he only called
Rico. I think Rico should be
calls.
I think Rico's like should be the highest out of the Barstool guys, in my opinion.
I like
maybe not
Portnoy.
Maybe not
Double A. Don't be putting words in my mouth. I like the Rico calls.
Like his calls.
No, I like his calls, and especially because of Kirk's reaction to them. Comments are so fucking gay. They're just gay.
Hey,
it's hurtful.
It's just so stupid.
I don't condone that.
I do. They're gay.
You
it's like
go
sitting Indian style. I can say it. I'm older.
You want to move on from Rico?
So do we agree where Rico is? He's top 25, right?
Yeah, I think he's top 25.
Yeah.
So here's my question for you then, Tim.
Rico was 34 on the list that we were gonna go with tonight. He was 34. How did he move up more than 10 spots?
There's something happened with the list.
Menors fucked. I tried to pull.
This is not my fault. It's a Google Doc. They're live updates. You could have all seen what I was doing every day. This is unbelievable that you guys are putting this on me. You guys have been negligent. Tim admitted he hasn't checked the Google Doc.
Are you wearing a ladies'
Augustus
shirt?
Hasn't, and Mayo hasn't.
Is that a nightgown? What are you wearing? That fits you
and
very
Mayo
strange.
clearly didn't check it either until just before
it
the
is
show.
like a nightgown.
You know how Google Docs work? They're live updates, and I kept.
But
Mayo said it earlier. I kept putting it in the chat. This person's too high. This person's too high. You could have changed it at any time. Gus, you could have changed it at any time. But you were negligent. You were too busy wearing a fucking dress and bowling, and you put no time into this.
Wow.
And you're trying to blame it on me.
Time
out.
Whoa. Who is that a shot at? Double A or Kirk?
Him. He did obviously put no work into this. He didn't check the list, and now he's got some other list that he's pulled out of his ass. This was all transparent, and you're saying I did it behind you back. And then you go, oh, it's a surprise. This is ridiculous. You've let the Minifans down. You have let the Minifans down. I was the only one that cared about this list, and you guys have been a joke.
So So are you saying he shouldn't have gone bowling with a dress on?
It was a shot at him for obviously not looking at the list until just before the show started.
Interesting.
But Menor, so are you saying Gus is saying a different list than that was on the Google Doc?
We had a Google Doc which we all could see, and Mayo said earlier, I was putting stuff in the chat like this person's too high, this person's too low, and you could have all checked any changes
wait a minute,
at any moment. It wasn't the final list. We never said the last one was the final list. Mayo, you know that. I was communicating about all this stuff. And the only thing I did, which I didn't, is I moved myself up as a joke, knowing that you guys would think it was funny and probably put me at 50 out because of it. But just because you guys didn't check it, you're blaming me. This is sad. Kirk should fire all of you from the committee.
From what? You fucking retard. Fire us from what? You in my basement on a Friday night? Are you fucking delusional? We didn't check the chat that you kicked Mayo out of and you kicked me out of, and then you fucking left.
What chat?
Are you already on high? Are you already high today? It's Saturday morning where you are. You
know what a Google Doc is? We were talking about all this stuff the whole time.
This is what people wanted. You're out of your mind.
You are out of your mind, Tim. You even said it before. You gave me this sob story. I'm so busy at work, I couldn't do any thinking about this. And you don't even know what a Google Doc is.
To sit down and read some bullshit you put together. You can't even write English in. It's all in Australian. Sorry, I don't read Australian.
Yep, clearly. You didn't give a shit. You too. No, I'm not delusional. Mayo's a witness. I put all this in the chat.
We're down to 25 and GA had to jump in. Another foreigner who had to jump in because you can't carry fucking through. This says a lot about the KMN. Go away. Go. Goodbye.
Hold on. I need Menors.
No, kick him out. Get him out of here. Be 88.
Go, Mayor. What?
Menors. The changes that you made in the chat, did you only make changes when 2 out of 3 voting committee members spoke affirmatively about the proposed change? So, for example, if someone said somebody should be higher on the list,
Google Doc works. You can all go in at any time and have a look at it.
Menors, it is not about the technology. It's about the fact that you should not make any changes to the list unless 2 out of 3 voting members indicated that they approve that change.
Well, we didn't have any official votes.
When you made that change, you should have communicated to us that you were making the change. I assumed, and again, too many assumptions going on. This is what happens in committee stuff. People assume stuff. I assume Gus would be making those changes, not you.
Now,
so then to find out 8 minutes before we go on that a non-voting member was adjusting the list.
That's your fault for being negligent. Keep going.
Go on your day.
This list cannot be. I think we should proceed. I would not accept this as the final list because Rico got moved 10 spots. Riggs got moved like 15 spots. And I'm looking at the list that we had in there before we went live tonight, and these guys were way lower on the list. So we can't trust this final list that we're presenting that Gus is going off of.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
But does anyone have the Google Doc that they can put on, or they can verify the Google Doc with what Gus is saying? Like,
okay, I let me let's see. I'm gonna.
You have a printed out one that's totally different.
I printed it at like 7:45 tonight. This is the list that we were prepared to go in on. And then Menors moved himself to 15 and then said he made changes throughout the week. So we all said, well, what changes did he make? We needed to know
2 weeks
to make sure that the voting members are okay
before
with
the last recording. You guys haven't checked the Google Doc in 10 days. That's not my fault, guys. That is not my fault.
Menors,
you're negligent and lazy.
You don't want to be a part of this. You bitched
no, but you're saying
out
bullshit. I did all this stuff before we were supposed to go live 10 days ago. I didn't do it just because you only checked it 15 minutes ago. You lose.
It's not hard. Okay,
seems like.
Sorry about that.
I feel bad. I feel bad. We let the Minifans down. I know people are going to be losing sleep. They're going to be, probably angry at home. God forbid it gets physical over this. I mean, it's not right.
I think
we've
just
ruined
want to see if
lives.
So I don't want to give us a Joe can pull up my screen. I'm going to pull this down here. This is at the bottom of the list. Those are different numbers. This and that. We go back. This is Menor's list. This is Menor's list. So what I did, you come up here. You hit the old version's history, and I went to the last one that we had the night after we met, and this was it to the restored version of it. And then we had our whole original list like that. So that's the list I'm pulling from because I do not know what exactly Menor's changed on his list.
Okay.
Yeah,
Google Docs tracks changes. So we need a forensic scientist. We need a there must be there's some smart Minifans. There's probably like 6 Minifans that are pretty smart. One of them has to be like Ben Affleck in the Accountant movie.
The Accountant.
Okay. We need Ben Affleck from the Accountant movie to come in and tell us what changes were made and by who and when in the fucking Google Doc.
So you're saying we need an independent auditor to come in, maybe a Rico Ryder or Jersey Jerry Army, someone out of the
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Maybe
well,
one of
they
their
have to be literate, so no, it can't be either of those camps.
So we
independent auditor.
But that
People are saying that people in the chat are accusing Gus of making his own list last minute.
Gus,
So
I think you fucked up. Yeah.
No,
Gus, you should. I don't think you should. You shouldn't have gone to that version because Menors is right. We did say stuff in the chat throughout the week about moving people around.
We moved it, but I don't know exactly where his things were moved to. So I'm
Gus
trying
I know,
to.
but then you went to an older
list.
version of the list. So those changes aren't reflected in that list, regardless of who may have made those changes. They are definitely not in that list.
Yeah, but Mayo, there is something else that's a factor here. Is when you were thrown out of the chat and I got thrown out of the chat, that chat starts new, so we don't necessarily see what was commented on. So that is also a factor here.
Again, Menor's fault for complete overreaction over some.
I'm not saying who, but it was 100%
busting.
Menace. But I'm not going to say who. But that is what happened. So I don't know. Do we need to regroup and do the top 25?
We can regroup and do the top 25.
No, I'm asking you're the boss.
I'm going to say we have to regroup and do the top 25.
Oh, so we're stopping at 25.
We're going to. What do we stop at 26? Yeah. But even then, I think there's going to be some changes on it because of this fuckery.
But
this is exactly the way I wanted it to go.
Wow. I guess anyone could just like pause the YouTube stream and then just.
I yanked my cord out.
They can just pause the YouTube screen and then they know the list already because we put it up a bunch of times.
30, 40 times.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah. Just
you want to just. It's up to you.
I mean, I told Menors one of my kids might be really sick, and he didn't give a shit tonight. He didn't care at all.
Yeah, I know that is true.
But no, I'm sorry. I can't. That's a joke. It's a total joke.
No, you did say that. You did share that.
I'm not kidding though. But one of my kids' urine.
Yeah, don't
fucking bad. It's unbelievable.
All right, so obviously
24 or
obviously, well, I think BA the list seems to be not what we had submitted or agreed upon, especially at this point. It seems like this discrepancies. Is that accurate?
Gus looks like he's fucking.
Gus, you're the producer. What do we do? Do we go march forward and move people?
I'm at the point right now. I'm doing this forensic back end thing, and I can see who's made changes. It was me, Andy, and then Menors started making changes on the 26th, the 28th, the 29th, and then this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning.
But listen, Gus. I need to say this very clearly. I believe Menors. I believe Menors when he says the only egregious change he made that the committee did not instruct or consent to being made was putting himself at 15, which was just a joke that we could have cleared up. So the list that we had earlier tonight that we didn't end up going with, I do believe represents the committee's wishes, except for Menors at 15, which again was a joke. I believe Menors. I think he was acting in good faith, but he should have communicated to us that he was making those changes. We also should have confirmed and said amongst ourselves, hey, who's making these changes as we're discussing them?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I thought we were all going to be on this morning to have the final.
My foot is stuck in a garbage can. That's how it's going tonight.
I think you guys should finish it up. Just quickly go through it, finish it up.
All right. So
we'll go fast. 24.
24. Did we say that was Warden? Are we back on the old
We're at
list before
Rico Bosco. I don't know what
Rico at 23. Whitney was at 22. Polar coming in at 21.
That
No,
seems high.
I think something's messed up.
Polar
Okay.
at 21 is
Yeah,
very
I know
high.
we moved him down.
I have Polar
Okay,
at
so-
21.
Do you? I had Whitney ahead of Paul. I think I had Whitney at 17, and I thought we had Whitney in the top 20.
Okay. Well, who's after Polar?
I
Polar's
mean,
high.
is this how
Polar's
they came?
way too high.
Did John Quincy Adams or John Adams? I forget which one signed the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. And
John, Jesus Christ, Tim.
I actually think
I know.
after Polar,
His
it's
grandson is
pretty
like-
good.
But
I think
John
after
Adams
and
what's his name? John Hancock. Did they come and argue over the similar stuff?
Oh, they fought like fucking dogs. Yeah. Oh, they were brutal. Yeah. No,
But they were different iterations.
Politics
Polar
was just as dirty
even in-
back then as.
Oh,
as now.
I know. But did they come with different versions of the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution?
Oh hell yeah!
Because
of
it
course,
seems like
yeah.
that's what we're
They had
having
to
here.
work through a lot of drafts. Yeah. No, this is democracy in action, folks. Okay. Tim's an American. He's
My
a,
bro.
Polar high. Next, Gus.
Going off the old list. Number 20, President Donald J. Trump.
All right. All right. Now we're getting
Who is
someone.
not? Who is? If we could just stop for a second. Who is not mayor?
Who is not
Not
mayor.
mayor.
no, it's
Mayo,
someone.
that's your opening. To
caller.
give us DJT.
It's someone. It's Mike from. It's a. I think the name was Mike from New Hampshire.
What are
What?
you doing?
What?
What are you doing? The guy's a totally
Somebody-
anonymous. Like Steve's a liar guy.
No, somebody posted it on the show. I'm not.
Someone posted it.
It's not like I did some digging and snooping. Someone
There's a
posted a
clip.
clip on the show.
There's a clip
The
going
very
around.
first Trump call ever was a guy who said, "Hey, it's so and so from New Hampshire. I'm here with Donald Trump. You want to talk to him?"
Mayo
that's
got.
your-
Mayo
that's your
going back
It's
to
in
his
the show's
doxing
history.
days.
That's your
It's in the show's
opportunity
history.
to do your own Trump. Mayo.
Oh,
You
hello,
are so
Kirk. This is your
rattled right
president,
now.
Donald J. Trump. We
Oh.
call him we call him Jingoist Tim. It's not good, Kirk. It's not good. See, I can't do
Not
it.
bad. That's not bad.
Did I use Jingoist correctly? Because I
Yeah,
think you
that's
are
good.
one.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh,
Look
the
at-
graphics.
Yeah, great.
There we
That's a
go.
live update. That's a live update.
That's a live update of the list.
Greg Polar way too high.
Amazing graphic.
And Riggs. Polar and Riggs are.
Yeah, I
Number
agree. Polar way
19.
too high.
Okay, 19.
He's one Jerry Callahan.
That's one
Yeah.
I fought for.
I agree.
I could see
Perhaps
a
even
top
little
20
low.
guy.
Perhaps a little low.
I could see top 20. I would say top 20 guy.
Fits my
You know
Kirk
what else?
quotient.
You could even put the Jerry Callahan voice on the list. Just the impression of Jerry, just Kirk doing Jerry's voice is a big part of the show and always has been and always will be.
Right. I mean, the drops, like going with some of the drops through Coleman, it's like you can see them all pulling up, and it's not. And we even have the callers now that some of them have some good impressions of it. Number 18.
Gus is fucking sweaty and he's all
Yeah,
nervous.
he's so nervous. So nervous.
He's gonna get ripped about
Like-
this. on fucking
Like what
Monday.
did Menace say? We're all gonna get fired, but there's only one person who can really be.
You guys
we
have
can-
Thanksgiving this Monday,
be
or just
banned.
in Canada?
Yeah, he's gonna fire us. Else you'll never volunteer in this town again. It's like, come on,
Menace.
Gus. You look like a terminally ill Ben Stiller. Has anyone ever told you that?
Yes, it's
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Great. Thanks, Allie.
don't worry, Allie, because it's not really the list.
Exactly.
it's
Look
good.
at Allie. Looking forward to your list.
All right, next.
number 18. Tim Ridgels, another loyal Minifan.
I mean, come on. This.
I have him at 23. What the?
Oh,
Fuck?
come on. Are you
I think
kidding
he's
me?
high. I think he's a little high. I think he should be in the 20s to 30s, not top 20. But
Really? I mean, you got to think of. Let's see. He got the John Stewart painting done. The Paint Your Life.
I think he's top 30 for sure.
He's been at almost every show, travels, drives, contributes to the show in more ways than one. If someone brought up the KMN, which I don't agree with, but he had a show for a very long time with Menor, Oscar Rob. He's been on the show multiple times. He's produced. That to me is a big deal. The fact that he produced.
Oh, really? He produced?
Him and Rob.
Him and Menor, Oscar Rob. Yeah. Justin's car.
Yes.
Now,
yeah, you know what? Top 20
Tim,
is. I think he's in a good spot.
Tim was not even in the mix for Justin's car, and he showed up that day, got in, and gutted it out until the next morning. The guy's just fucking stud. And he rode around on TJ's mini bike last weekend. No one got killed.
Ned Stark said no one has a Google Doc.
What's Google Docs?
Next. Let's go next. Gus.
Number 17, I got for Big Cat.
Okay.
He's a loyal listener, calls in. Might steal Justin. Or attempt to.
Mayo?
Yeah,
It sounds like you have some comments?
I know the list is different than the one you're looking at.
No, actually, I do. Big Cat is at 17 on my list. I don't know. I feel like I think that was one I was outvoted on. I thought some of the Barstool guys were high. I don't think he's top 20.
So do you think he's not top 20?
Shut the fuck up.
No,
Menor.
between 20 and 30.
It's double A. Why you're just playing into what he wants. Why?
I know.
Go ahead, Mayo. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's not the list. This is an exhibition list at this point. Nothing's going to count. This is food for thought for the new, whatever committee Kirk's going to appoint after we're fucking hung up and just hung up in the town square as a fucking warning to others.
People are saying this is the perfect list.
Matter.
People are saying it's a perfect list.
Doesn't matter.
So nice, BA. My thing with
life is
Dan,
pointless. It's just nothingness waiting for everybody. So let's
man.
Let's just keep going, man.
The good news is we have matching top 10s. I just confirmed there are matching top 10s.
I think
all right. Let's get to 10. Let's go.
Okay, let's go next. Big Cat.
Wait,
Tim
Big
is
Cat was
sleepy.
17, right?
17, 16.
Okay.
16. Yeah, 16 I have on my list Carabas, and on the other list is K Marco.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm so confused
Just
right
do
now.
one list.
Yes, let's keep doing. Yes, that's how we should have done this. Yes. Okay.
Both of them.
K Marco.
Wait,
K Marco should be above Carabas.
No, he is above. Well,
In the list, in this original list, K Marco is above Carabas, but I do like Carabas on the show. He's been the only time he really stepped away from the show was when Penn was in charge.
I think a bit high. Carabas a bit high, but
Carabas
I think
is not
in top
good on
20.
the. Carabas is like he's like the dentist who called in and Kirk didn't remember him. That's the caliber of third chair that Carabas is. Just
what I would
fine.
say.
He doesn't really stand out for being terrible, but he doesn't do much that's memorable. And
I would
if he
say
was
Donald
never on again,
J.
I would never be like, oh, I wish we could get Carabas.
Trump Caller should be higher than Carabas for sure.
So
and show.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with a guy like Carabas, as Portnoy would say, and this goes to Dan as well. There are some people that come on the show, and this is why I think Riggs was ranked higher than we feel he should be. I think there are people who come on the show that Kirk thoroughly enjoys having on the show, and that to me is an impact. It's a different show. When Carabas is on, Kirk is very engaged. Well, he's always engaged, but he seems to be a little bit looser. It's almost like he's hanging out with his friends, like an Andy Nolan, and Jim Russo.
So I get. Yeah,
I think he's in a good spot.
That Carabas makes Kirk better and gets the best.
No, not
Kirk.
that he
That's
makes him better.
Tim.
I think
and that
just
Kirk
more...
sometimes isn't totally engaged, but then Carabas kind of gets him to course correct. That's interesting.
That just fucking win.
More,
I never thought of it that way. Can I chew on it a little bit before
he's definitely
agree or
more
disagree?
laid back. There are people that he enjoys having on, and there are people that are in the studio. And I put Carabas in that vein. And let's not forget, if it wasn't for Jared Carabas, Kirk would not know how to do podcasting.
But does that make him top 20?
I think top 20 is fair. I think top 20 is fair. But let's go on. Let's move on.
Got a piece of merch made.
Well, let's not forget. Let jumping right back. Let's not forget. as far as impact is concerned, Carabas has a T-shirt that was made because of what he said.
Very true. People are saying hashtag not my list in the chat.
Good for them.
Just saying.
So does anybody
It's
remember
literally
what
not
that saying
it's
is?
not anyone's list.
Yeah, agreed. Do you guys
What's the
remember
general
what that
tenor
saying
in the
was?
chat? Are people pretty understanding that these things?
No, not at all. Not at all. The chat's been roasted.
Great.
Not anyone's list.
Great.
Should have been a bracket.
Well, that's your thing.
With
BA.
voting, that might be.
All right, so moving on.
No, the bracket can't. The bracket's going to be big this year. Okay, next.
Number 15, Steve's a liar guy.
I think great spot.
The pop at the Wilbur was fantastic. Like, that was a very loud pop when he came out into the songs for both shows.
Yeah.
Both shows.
Yep. Special moment, special guy. Good place.
All
Tim,
right.
you don't like that placement?
I think he's too low, but it just go on. I'm looking for
I think there's a
updated
few
list.
a couple people ahead of him that I would put down. But let's go to the
That's what I'm looking for.
Next one, number 14. Rest in peace, Mr. Jon Stewart.
I'm fine with him top 15. You think too high?
Yes. I feel terrible saying it too high.
All aboard.
But although you know what, as Kirk says, don't get mad at me for saying this. It's a Kirk joke. It's a Kirk line. Dying was the best thing for him when it came to this list.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm saying.
If he was alive, I don't think he'd be at 15.
Totally true.
If he was alive, he's probably 30 to 50.
Oh, I don't think that.
20.
High.
I think he's out of the top 20. All right.
But
if I'm wrong and there is an afterlife, how fucking pissed is Jon Stewart at us right now?
Actually, probably
he would have been an ideal committee member. He would have been a great committee member.
Yes,
he would have actually
right.
spent 18 hours a day on it, like Menors expects of everybody.
That's a very fair point.
All right,
but
like to see his dead list.
Number 13, K Marco. Tried to get. I mean, we all know
I
the
think
K Marco.
It could be a little like I think he could be top 10 in some people's list. K Marco, like number one enemy outside of Murchison, like a legitimate kill. But I think top 15 for sure.
Number 12, the current owner of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy.
Hunter, it's not up to Menors. It's not up to Menors who's
at all.
None of this. Nothing is up to Menors. I don't even necessarily disagree. Perhaps a fresh committee, fresh eyes.
Who are you talking to?
Hunter.
The comment they just put up. Hunter.
Number 11, Mike Manansky.
Oh, my boy. My boy.
I love Mud at 11. That's my guy.
I'd rather him at 10.
Well, I think number 10 people are not going to like, but
yeah. And this
I
was,
agree,
and there's one person who needs to defend this one. Did we get one?
Yeah, Tim, the floor is yours. Let's get a graphic up here.
Yeah.
10.
Number 10.
There you go. Nice graphic. So my Mutt Kirk quotient, he hits them all. He should be at least
kids on the
number
fucking
10.
side of the road. He hits them all.
That was mean. He's got the impact. He is talked about all the time, for good and for bad. His longevity has been, from the dawn of time to just yesterday or Wednesday. And if there was I think this would be grudgingly, but I would assume if Mutt was killed, there would be a memorial where they would raise money, and the money wouldn't go to his family, would actually go to 2 tickets to anywhere you want to go around the world and have dinner and stay for a hotel. I mean, the guy,
as long as it's in Chelmsford.
Yeah, right. He gives. I love him. He's my Steve from Providence, and Mutt are, to me, just the top of the list. So that's my own feelings. I think he should be number 10. I think he's in the top 10. I think he's earned it. He contributes. He did the video, which Kirk eviscerated from the soccer show the other night, but he continues to contribute and go on the show, take the slings and arrows of Minifans. I love the guy.
I remember on the first bracket, like 4 or 5 years ago, people will call in, oh, who do you have on the bracket? Grover 207 or Steve from Providence, and he would make his picks on the bracket like 4 or 5. So like you said, longevity or whatever. But
Longevity.
Longevity.
He gets it. He gets it.
I like it. I think much maybe could be higher, but do you want to say the next pick? Because I think this one everyone will love.
Yeah, the floor is yours, Tim.
Yeah.
Number 10.
No, go ahead.
Oh, there it is right there.
No, Tim,
10?
this was you. Yeah, you made a really eloquent case for this in the committee meeting. Why don't you share with the people?
And now I think I'm going to rescind it.
Yeah? Well, then the whole list is
what a cop.
Okay, number 10. Hold on, number 10 is vacated. There is no number 10.
Well,
it's vacated.
Can I try and remake my that convinced you guys? Did it really convince you guys, or were you just acquiescing?
How about we just put the guy who calls in as Kirk's landscaper at 10?
That guy's pretty good. I saw him tonight, actually.
Call it a day.
I literally saw him tonight.
That he is one of my favorite callers. Those are
I love
there's only been two of them.
On the landscaper. So I
great.
can't do it justice like we did behind the scenes when even Metas was like, I disagree with you, but I see what you're saying, but I disagree, which was Kirk has always said before there was a before there was a fourth chair or third, Kirk always said the Minifans were the third chair. And in general, we had talked about John from Scranton. It's not just John, but John represents, and to a lesser extent, BA represents the Min-Cells, which are a big part of the Miniverse, right? And for me, the Minifans in general, all the haters, all the lovers, all the people who aren't on Twitter, all the people who don't.
Get the fuck
out of here.
What is going on with this list?
Get out of here. Get him out. He's not part
Chris,
of this,
I like
Gus.
you, but go away.
Gus, you fucking clout-chasing clown. Get him out of here.
No, I asked Menors. Menors gave me the... I just wanted
Gus. You're not a clown. I'm sorry.
Just see what's going on with this list. Who's to blame here? This is a disaster.
It's just Chris, go away.
Be gone. Be gone with you.
Go away. Go back to Boston.
Be gone with you. Barry,
go back.
Your fucking take on Barry, Chris.
Exactly.
I thought you were a man of substance, and then you're like, Barry got too dark. It's not as funny anymore. Oh, it was a that he left show, Chris.
The fact that he left should drop him down. He should have never left.
Oh yeah, because
unless I don't know if he left on his own or if someone pulled him out.
I'm willing to be. Yeah, I know. It wasn't his fault. I'm willing to be convinced, but I do feel that.
Should we just
go ahead?
Don't.
Go ahead.
What? Well, Tim, you've convinced me on the Minifans. It's sentimental. It's corny as hell, but I agree. I agree. Yeah, is this what finally breaks? Because Tim can do no wrong. I mean, the cramp incident, the Vominos thing was the closest Tim's ever come to being an asshole and being hated. This might be it. I mean, if we can get Tim hated, it's like the Joker trying to get Batman to kill a dude. But it would be such a feather in the cap if we can get Tim on the fucking wrong side of the Minifans tonight.
Think maybe that's why Kirk had me in here?
Gus, why are you saying it in the chat?
I know.
In the private, just because that's the easiest way I can talk to Joe.
So I thought you were saying it to us.
Oh, okay.
No.
So he does want Clemmer in.
I think it would be good to have Clemmer back in for the top 10. Because
why?
We're doing a great job. We don't need Clemmer.
You guys are doing great. You guys are actually doing
great. Let him say why. We're riding the shit train down the toilet. AA. Tell me why.
Never mind. He's gone. Doesn't matter.
No. Tell us why.
No, yeah, I thought because you guys were just saying he should have been in here to say something. So I wanted to hear his point out. That's all.
Well, wait a minute. You haven't said why he should be back in.
I just because I thought you guys wanted to bring him back in. That's all. It sounded like you wanted to talk
when
to him
me and
again
Andy said get him out, that meant get him back in?
No. After you said it,
my thought was I don't want Clemmer in the whole time. It might be funny to just have people are so mad. Like if just random people just send them the link, they come in.
I agree with that.
30 seconds to scream
Totally
at us,
agree.
and then they're out.
Totally agree. Get Ted
That could be
Sarandis in
fun.
here. Get
All
Ted
right.
Sarandis in here.
Actually, I want a great comment. Mario 71181 said all idiots except BA.
Get
Yeah,
Ted Sarandis.
fair.
Ted always has good feedback. He always has good insight. Get him in here.
And
all right,
this,
number 9.
number 9.
Man,
Bob
Andrew,
Murphy.
your instincts sometimes, I gotta say.
Manners till midnight after this. Number 9,
Yeah,
Bob Murchison.
absolutely. Menor should go live after this.
Oh yeah.
I'm going.
So
I'm
no
going
one
for
will
the, I'm
listen.
going for the 3-peat tonight. I'm going to be on all the shows.
But yeah, number 9, Bob Murchison. I think very fitting for a top 10 figure.
For sure. Best number 1 enemy.
I gotta say, Double A, you not having Bob Murchison join the stream, kind of a knock on you.
It's
He should have been here.
it would have been great.
Or at
It would have
least
been
the-
funny
Any
if
more
some-
Barstool personalities you want to get, Gus?
No,
Is Caroline available?
It would be funny if you could. It'd be funny if
Kid
you
Rico
had like.
through a high noon at?
It'd be funny if you had
Oh, is
like
that
Brandon
Tommy
Walker's sister?
It would be funny if you had Tommy Quinlan like with like his face not showing, talking like Bob Murchison. You know.
Big
No, you don't
miss.
like that one?
Big miss, Double A. All right, that's number 9. This is big. The top 10 is a big deal.
Okay, number 8.
Bill from Milton's.
I actually like this one. I think
Day
this
one,
is
been a Kirk Minahan guy from day one. Never wavered. We've seen advertisers leave the show before. Bill from Milton's is never left Kirk's side. Definitely a top 10.
I think an underrated top 10 person.
I think everybody in the top 10 deserves some discussion. Mayo, thoughts?
None.
Which means
He should be there. He should be there. I don't know. Maybe I feel like we've lost a little momentum. Maybe we should have started with the 2 through 10 and then got to 50.
let's.
I think you should. I really think you
do it
should.
over. Do it over.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, BA. You didn't say anything for the last hour.
I said it.
You did not.
No, you said that people were saying it. You hid behind the classic
Exactly.
people are
Exactly.
saying.
7:58. Here's the comment from BA at 7:58. Hi. That's it.
That's
He
high.
goes.
I said hi.
Yeah. No,
right, let's go,
let's
let's
stop
go.
from 2 to 10. All right.
Number 7, Tim from Canton.
No.
Tim in
Yeah.
Canton. Do you even listen to the fucking show?
Nope, he's Tim from Canton right now because after throwing me under the bus for the last 5 minutes, I need to improperly say his name as many times as possible. But in all seriousness, Tim in Canton, the show historian, has his notebook, has pulled up some of the most, like even today with pulling up the first phone call of Stephen
Oh,
Providence.
yeah, he's made a strong case for himself today, Gus. Absolutely.
He might go.
hasn't
He
hurt
might,
his case
he might be
today
out
at
of the
all.
top 10 after today, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. Tim's number 1 on the out of the Minifans that contribute to the show. Tim's number 1.
Heart disease gained a lot of fans tonight. Jersey sales are up in Maine,
Thank you, bro.
Massachusetts. 6 is Chris Clemmer. 6 is Clemmer. Okay. I don't even.
So
I
can
think
we?
he could be hot? He's high actually. But
All right, we're dragging this out quite a bit, but BA, it's I guess Men is behind the scene. Is it possible to pull someone in? I'd love to get random Minifan, just like Mayo said, just to have some inside comment or whatever.
Confused Duck said Tim's worst night is a Minifan. Roscoe said Mayo, mute yourself. Hunter Flax said Tim's fine.
Come on, guys, just get to the end. Come on, that's what you got to do now, guys.
We
Come
know
on.
you have to get on your Saturday, but we have nothing else. Menace, bring someone in. Honestly, if there's someone that wants to come in, that'd be great. I mean,
everyone's like me. No one wants to be associated with this shit show. So just
I don't
wind
care.
it up. Get your
No, Mayo, do you
no
care?
one wants to suffer. Everyone's so disappointed right
Then
now.
turn it
Let's
off.
just get the list. Come on.
Then turn it on.
Should we just refrain from the top 5?
Oh,
Well, that's a,
Since
I
it's
think
been
that's a
such a
producer question.
good show.
So what's up?
I think that's a producer question.
No. What was Andy saying? He broke up a little bit.
If we're gonna, if the list is gonna have to be redone, should we refrain from revealing our top 5? I mean, it's a terrible idea. It's the worst thing we could possibly do, which kind of makes it seem appropriate. Like we
Lauren
have fucked
said
it up
top
so badly. Should
Well,
we?
Lauren
just
said top
stop
5
now?
is easy. Top 5's easy.
I mean, the top. It's.
Bring her.
I think-
Tell her. Bring what
Can she?
we might surprise her.
Can we give her the link? What's that clicking noise in the
Who the
background?
fuck is tapping? BA, are you communicating with your roommates in Morse code? What are you doing?
I'm not tapping.
But
It's Tim's leg. He's been sitting down for a while.
Thank you, man.
What do you
is
say?
upset.
I'm having a spasm. I do have to get going soon because there is some KMS activity that I need to prepare for.
Oh wow.
I don't want
I
to say
think you should
what.
just say the top 5. Like you
Yeah,
should just
I-
say the top 5
I think we just go with the top 5 and then
at once. Like I think you could say it all at once. because It's up to you guys.
I think you do 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 are the 2 discussions.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
are. And
I
I,
mean,
think
is it double A?
yes.
This is big on you.
Yes.
This, right? This is you as a producer here. Is
Yes.
how do you want to approach it?
I want to
I
do
agree,
5,
man.
4, 3, and 2. And we're going to do 5 and 4 together and have the discussion of it. And we're going to do 3 and 2 together and have the discussion of it. Once this is complete, we've made, because we've already made changes to the list already throughout going through this, correct?
I don't even know what list we're using anymore. But
I'm going to send an email to just Andy and Tim.
okay.
No,
Because
I think my work is done. I think I've.
Oh no, it is.
think my work
It's going
is
to be
done.
done. You'll see. But I've kept track of the updates we've
Okay.
made.
I
Can we
trust
not?
you.
So
I
I
don't
would-
need to see it. You can just tweet it
Yeah.
out then. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it.
So we will, and I'm not speaking for Kirk or anyone who that I saw that. No way. 5 and 4 is, I think, a very good discussion to have. And
Number
that's-
5 is
Number 5 is Dave Cullinane. Number 4 is Justin Trudell.
all right. There were comments made yesterday about these two.
Yep.
All right, double A, go ahead.
So for me, I put Justin ahead of Dave. Again, going by your Kirk factor, the longevity,
Kirk quotient.
or Kirk quotient, excuse me. And then especially with Justin, who else do you know that's turned down the job 3 times? But again, this week showed up,
Gus,
picked up
spit it
Mike,
out.
cleaned up the bathroom.
My guy Brooks.
So that dedication, that longevity through Justin. I mean, Dave's been great. The Dave era was very fun, but I think from a lasting impact and going forward, Justin gets the 4.
Jesus Christ.
Ted Sarandis said,
All right.
"What's
Steve
worse,
is number
this
3.
or
Mike is
Steve's
number 2.
free
Steve is 3. Mike is 2. Good night, everybody.
You know what? I
Dave,
don't even talk about it.
Dave, Justin, Steve, Blind Mike. I actually think Blind Mike should be number 2.
Oh,
All right,
you do,
so-
because that was the one we had the most debate over.
All right, so hold on, Mayo. Do you want to comment on 5 and 4?
No,
You're comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable with it. It's fine. Yep. 3 and 2 is 3 and 2 is the 3 and 2 is the one we should talk about for 30 seconds.
Mostly
Blind Mike
agree,
number
yeah.
2 for sure in my books. But go ahead. The floor is yours. Tim.
What?
Floor is yours to talk about number 2.
3 and 2, Mike and
All right,
Steve.
so we had Mike and Steve. So it's for me, it's Steve 2, Mike 3.
That was his personal list.
Wait, what?
That is right.
That is that was Tim's personal list.
When did Mike become number 2?
We talked. That's the last thing we talked about in the meeting.
Yeah. Yep.
So
We landed
Steve-
on that. Although who's
Steve,
who's playing the funeral?
Steve is number
That
2.
music,
The show
it's a little
doesn't-
too upbeat. It doesn't quite fit the tone we've.
I know.
Oh, there we
Steve-
go.
The show doesn't
Little,
happen
like,
without
profile.
Steve. The show happens without Mike.
No, okay, here's the thing. Any producer could have helped get the show started. If Kirk had hired Cullinane initially, KMS, I think, would have been even better from the beginning. Any producer could have. If Mike Geary had not joined the show, I think it could have been borderline. I think it would not have worked. Kirk needed a guy like Mike with Mike's sensibilities and Mike's sense of humor to get in there. And Steve, he needed him more than he needed Steve. And Mike has the longevity. Mike is an integral part of the show. Mike Geary absolutely is the second most important person in the history of KMS. Thank you, BA.
Gus?
I agree with Andy. Especially going forward, like Mike has just become so. When he left, he
at
was
least
a different
Mayo had a
person
real
than who he is
argument. You are such a suck up, Gus.
No, what do you mean such a suck up? The Why Are You Laughing has provided some pretty funny content. The episode with him, Kirk, that went on was
no.
great.
That's not the best.
No,
That's
that's
not the best point.
Has provided a fucking
Well, I don't want to recycle. I'm not going to
KMS.
recycle.
They talk about it in a perfunctory way to promote it. It's not like they dive into it and play clips from it ever.
Why are you laughing?
Gus, give me 3 of them. What are 3 moments where it was like, wow, I'm so glad they're diving into the latest episode of Why Are You Laughing?
I'm not saying they dove in. It just sometimes.
But you said it's given us so many good moments. So
just
many.
Give us a couple. I'm sorry. So many was an exaggeration, but I agree with everything you said. I didn't want
to pull a line from Kirk. Give us one. One
of them. How about when he first started and he kept bumbling up? Not on Dice Clay's, the one he did after Dice Clay. It was like his second or third one that they played some clips from.
This is wild. This is wild.
But,
I agree with
Gus said. When it comes to Mike Geary being at number 2, listen to me.
Well, that's what I said. Everything, and I said I agree with you. I didn't want to go like recycling everything you said.
Yeah.
Who can forget all the classic "Why Are You Laughing" moments on the Kurt Minifan show?
BlindMike.net.
Oh, like remember the time Mike was like, "Oh, the one about Dice K will be out Thursday," and then.
Why Are You Laughing has brought so many great moments to the Kurt.
So how are you guys going to do it? How are you guys going to do it? I'm thinking pills.
Well, there's a couple knives around me, so I think a knife. Double A, thank you for that. Made my night.
Because obviously I'm gonna have trouble sleeping, but
Mayo made a great argument. I think they're interchangeable. I just think Steve is the number 2. I think Kirk always brings out the best in everybody, and there are some things that Steve was able to do that Mike would never be able to. I get what you're saying about the producer. Yeah, you could hire anybody, but you know what? He did hire Steve, and he gave us Elias. He gave us Breaking Up His Parents. He gave us Fucking at 15. He gave us Tig. Now, Mike, he's given us Mama Gary. He's given us she has breast cancer. Terry Mike Gary, Blind Mike's penis. They're neck and neck. I mean, it's Sophie's choice. I don't know who I march off. I really don't. But I'm just going to fall to Steve. And something
because you're right wing. Because you're a right wing imperialist. That's why.
Imperialist. No, I'm a NIMBY. Not an
Again, I'm not sure if I'm using it correctly. It feels right, Tim.
I think you're using it incorrectly. That was a tough one. That was a very tough one. And I was always, go ahead.
Can you give Mike credit for like starting Mike and the Minifans, really getting that aspect going from it, really getting the fan involvement at the beginning of the show? That was definitely a Mike kind of pushed forward.
Sure. For me, they're neck and neck. But in the end, there are a couple different factors, which is Mike is a phenomenal second chair. He has only gotten better.
I don't hate Rico.
Oh, shut up,
he does.
Rico.
You should hear him in the private chat.
He hates you. He's trying to.
Lastly, though, on Mike. Okay, most importantly of all, that Jim Gaffigan episode of Why Are You Laughing? I mean,
never heard it.
Good. Actually, Sean 1982 said Gus's favorite KMS bit is, "What do you have going on, Mike?" At the end of the show, at the end of every show. That's Gus's favorite.
If Steve were on the show, and Steve was the main producer, I have a feeling Double A would say Steve was number 2, Mike number 3.
Sorry, Tim. Melissa, we're not revising. We're not revising.
I don't even know.
I would like Kirk could do me the courtesy of firing me, because the honorable thing. Yeah, come on, guys. Let's end this. Let's end as if people can't just turn it off, Menors. As if they're trapped in their fucking chairs and on their couches until we wrap it up. Let's do the humane thing and let everyone get back to their lives. Everybody, wrap up this fan show about the most important 50 people in the history of KMS. For the love of God,
you sound
Menors.
like me. Easy, brother. Kirk made a comment just the other day. He said, "When I think about the show, and this doesn't really have to do with where they stand, but he said, when I think about the show, who is the core of the show? And it's Kirk, it's Steve, and it's Mike. The three of them, they are the show. And then to me, Justin is the one. Like, is Dave interchangeable with Steve? No, not at that point. No, he's not. That's why Justin's my number 4. Hey, Steve or Mike, you could throw it either way. Love them both. I just like to see Double A get put on a hot seat and suck up and try to make the right call.
Should we end on number 1? I mean, it's no surprise to everybody.
I will say,
acronym guy, number 1 most important guy in KMS history. I know it's anticlimactic, but we at least have to say it for the sake of being, for posterity's sake. It's acronym guy. Jesus Christ.
Kirk Minifan, Blind Mike, Geary, Steve Robinson, Justin Trudell, Dave Cullinane, Chris Clemmer, Tim and Cannon, Bill from Milton's, and Bob Murchison, the top 9 most influential people in the Kirk Minifan show history. Wow.
I know we can't say anything, but you know how I feel about my ranking. But I do think that if you were to go 4 years from now, are people going to remember Steve, Mike, or Dave? Turn the music down.
They're going to remember Mike.
Remember Mike. In 4 years, Mike. Biggest fan.
4 years, they'll know Mike.
The other thing, too,
4 years, Steve
you bring Steve
irrelevant.
back into the picture, and he's not a good fit on the show. He's not a good fit.
Well, everybody's grown, but remember,
Mike could go away for 2 years and come back, and boom, it would work. Same thing with
playing
Dave.
this crappy music. I wanna drag this out for.
Listen, Menors,
3
we're
hours.
not fucking going anywhere, buddy. Okay, let's go back to 50. Let's rework this list. We're not going anywhere.
I think
you
we
guys
should
leave,
redo
I'll
it right
sit
now.
here and stare into the camera until it stops. We're not fucking stopping, Menors. Okay.
Can we redo it again? You guys ready?
Yes.
Want to go from
I
1 to
think
50?
50.
Yeah.
Again, pelts. It should be pelts.
I agree.
What the fuck?
So where's BA?
I'm just kidding.
30
I thought we
seconds.
keep it going.
Menors, we're not saying goodbye. You have to just kick us off. Just end the fucking stream, Menors, okay? Do what you want to do.